Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you all here. I was here and ready to go for once, which is nice. I've been trying to work my schedule out to where I'm like here on Wednesdays so that this can happen more frequently. Yeah, so welcome to the stream. If this is your first time on the stream, this is basically the chance to ask questions and have a dialogue back and forth with me. I do my best to answer every comment in the videos that I put out, but excuse me, it's just impossible for me to capture anything beyond first response. So that's the whole point of this stream, is that we can have more of a back and forth conversation. So, but good to have you all here. Yeah, got some exciting things coming up. Excited about it. I saw Shutter Speed was here, Drone Shots, One Vision Aerial, Mark H was already here, Alaska Filmer, Wendy, Prince's FPV drones, nice, Victor, let's see, Nix, High Tech, John AK, Dynadrone, Chemist, nice to see you, Superman, Supra Man, Richard Black, Mark H, thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Very, very much, actually. Trini and Paul. Man, so many of you guys are here. And so if you're wondering what Mark H is talking about in the super chat, that is if you are a member of the channel or a patron, members are probably easier than anything, then you get to see behind the scenes stuff. But every once in a while, you get to see something that is just completely unique. And so One of the jobs I had earlier this week, on Monday, I think, was flying out by helicopter to film a dog sledding trip for some people. And so yeah, for the members, you got to see behind the scenes video of that, of like going out to film it, and the dog sledding and all that, which was really fun. So yeah, it's a great spot. Fun video anyway. So if you're a member, you get to see those things. If you're not, sorry. and then you get to see behind the scenes videos of me whining about how far I got to hike or how cold it is or stuff like that too. So yeah, so ask your questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them, and we'll go from there. I broke out this. Let me know in the chat. I'm curious to see if any of you have this one. Nope, that one. Nope, that one. There we go. This is the Insta360 RS, 1RS, in the 360 configuration. I'm curious to see if any of you have used this with the FPV drones that are designed for 360 cameras. Because I got an odd request in for some work that would involve that. And anyway, so I'm curious. I was looking them up. Anyway, okay, Demas. Anyway, sorry, I'm butchering your name. Very sorry about that. But you asked if I've covered topics on how to capture story with only drones and a small camera. Chemist, it's interesting that you asked that. I have a video coming up about that very soon. So stay tuned to the channel, because I do actually have a video coming about that. Canon R3. Let's see. Paul, you asked about a Canon R3. I don't know much about that. Man, it's been so long since You just bought one? Is it a mistake? Well, not really. I mean, that is a beastly camera. It isn't a mistake. I'll say this. It isn't a mistake if you can afford it. That is a fantastic camera. Canon makes great cameras, period. But that is a beastly camera. I mean, dear Lord, 6K at 60 frames a second raw and 4K 120. That is awesome. So yeah, I'd say if you can afford it, then you're good to go. You will be good to go for a while with that camera. It's only a mistake if you bought it going deeply into debt. Then I would venture to say that maybe think about it differently. But I mean, I bought a Sony A1, which is about the same price as that right here. This is the Sony Alpha 1, and you know, I need it for what I do. So and yeah, so Eddie Nunez actually helped me buy that thing, which I really appreciate. And then I've never been back since. I was gonna. Sorry, Eddie. I've had three jobs in your area that were all like, let's do this, and then something would happen, and they'd be like, we can't do it now. We gotta wait, or whatever. So I'm still waiting for something to come up in Eddie Nunez's area because I want to meet him personally. All right, shutter speed. I mentioned in the video it's about 7 times zoom on the Mavic, as well as changing quality down from 5K to 1080 on mine. It changes frame rate. Does this not cause shuttering in your final video? So shutter speed, you can, man, I got to keep up with you all. Are chatting like crazy. That's awesome. You can change the 7x zoom, the telephoto camera, to 4K up to 60 frames a second. But you have to change it, when you're in that. And then you can, but usually, like I have mine set to 4K 30, and then once you set it at 4K 30 or whatever, it'll stay that every time you go to it. So yeah, but you need to change it from 4K or from 1080 to 4K 30, or well, you're in Europe, so that'd be 4K 25, I guess, or 4K 50 maybe. I think it can do 4K 50. Anyway, but otherwise, yeah, it will mess with you video wise. Because you want to match up your frame rates for sure. You have one of those? Awesome. You have that? Awesome, Daniel. Wait, so you guys have the camera, or you have the drone that this camera goes into and flies FPV? Victor, is it a good idea to attach a GoPro 10 or 11 to the DJI Avata drone? You can get some great results with it. It definitely makes a drone a little tougher to fly, but it does work, and you get, the GoPro footage, which is great. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. Look up Ken Dobo, Original Dobo on YouTube. He's done that, and he's talked through how he did it. And then he also has an Etsy store, I think, that he sells 3D prints to enable you to do that. There you go, Ken. Free shout out for you. He'll actually be streaming on his channel right after I get done. So, Trini, on your Mavic 3, while taking photos in RAW, you're getting vignetting. I'm not sure if the problem or normal. Really, you're getting vignetting? I don't get vignetting on mine. So the only times I've gotten vignetting on mine are when I didn't seat an ND filter completely, or the cover, the little cover, because if you don't seat it just right, it tends to do funky little things. Let me see. So that's a raw photo. Yeah, I don't have any vignetting. I wish I could show you guys. I'm not going to take the time to set it up, but well, maybe can I? Let's see. Let me switch to this. Oh no, I can't. Wait, maybe I can right here. Window capture. See if I can do this. Window. Dun 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 dun. Nope. Oh wait, is it not? No, it's not showing up. Okay, yeah, forget that. Anyway, never mind. I can't do it. I'm not going to try and set up right now anyway. So I don't get vignetting. I mean, maybe a tiny, tiny bit at the very corners, but not anything really bad. So check to make sure any filters you have are on there, or even just take the filters off and just do a test shot against a white wall with nothing on there and see if it's still there. If it is, then you might have an issue, but I would think that it would be showing up in a lot of ways. Hey, USA Drone Flyer. Let's see. Lynn Smith. Hey. Chris Richardson's asked, do I take long shots and edit, or do I capture short clips and just what I need when flying? So Chris, that's a great question. And there are two schools of thought, much like people are thumbers on the control or pinchers. I'm a pincher. I only record what I need. So I will set up for a shot, record the shot, and then stop recording, because I do not like having to wade through 3, 4, 5 minute clips. The only exception to that is when I'm filming something, which is another thing members got to see, me going and filming an ice skater, a figure skater in front of a glacier. The only exception to that is something like that, where I don't know what's going to happen, and it's all very much just on the fly. In that case, I will just record everything, because I don't want to miss anything. But anything else, I record exactly the shots that I want to capture when I'm flying and when I'm filming. Let's see. Paul, you can afford it. Getting more into real estate work and video work does not include drones. Okay, well then that's going to be a great camera, Paul. Like, that is a really good camera. That thing should last you for years and years. You should be great. Barkley, 107 drones. Avoid leveraging equipment costs with a credit card. Amen. Do not go into debt for equipment. Like, the biggest thing too, I would say, like, if you have the money and you can do it, then that's great. But do not do something against a job that is coming down the road. Because I kid you not, every time I have thought this job is a sure thing, and I'm going to go ahead and make the equipment purchases I need for it. Say it hasn't got to the point where I'm like, you give me they've sent me their 50% deposit or anything like that. I know we'd be talking business here, but yeah, whatever. That I am not kidding though. Every time I've thought I've had a sure thing for a job, and I'm kind of looking at it going like, and I know this is coming in, down the road, this job will come in. They've always changed or evaporated or whatever. They've just never worked out the way they were supposed to. So it's always be very careful with that. So yeah, don't go into debt. And don't count on jobs that haven't happened yet, or that they haven't sent you a deposit on anyway. Donald Miller took the dive, bought 5 products from Motion VFX, Motion Tracker 3D, Area, etc. Nice, Donald Miller. Yeah, I like Motion VFX. I use a handful of their plugins. They're all very good. Steve C. The Avata is such a disaster, forcing you to connect your phone to take off. Killed it for indoor use. Yeah, Steve, that is an issue. I understand why they have to do it. Remote ID is coming, whether we like it or not. In the fall, remote ID will be required. So, they have to do something. I'm going to be curious to see how they implement that with the Mavic series with the smart controllers. I'm very curious to see how they're going to implement that with those. Anyway, but it is a bummer, the Avata thing. It's unfortunate how they went about it. They just sort of snuck it in the back door, didn't really tell anybody about it, and yeah. John AK, what's a good microphone to record nature sounds? John, what's your budget? Because there are microphones ranging from, a few $100s to thousands of dollars. So, hey, bud, good to see you. Follow-up question for beginners starting to capture aerial videos, photos for portfolio Mini 3 Pro or Air 2S. Ooh, Chemist, or Kemas, I'm so sorry, I'm just probably destroying your name. I would go to the Air 2S. The photo quality on the Air 2S is better than the Mini 3 Pro, at least in my experience. That's what I would do. But the Mini 3 Pro gets under that 249 grams. But if you're doing it for any sort of hire, at least in this country, you still have to register. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I would lean toward the Air 2S. It's just really fantastic. Donald Miller. I wonder if that's the same guy I saw. I saw somebody's video. Air 2S all the way. Yeah, I agree, bud. I also get some vignetting on your Mavic 3 with regular glass and RAW files. Mostly doing auto exposure bracketing shots. Oh. Interesting. I've never noticed. Yeah. I probably will notice it now that you've all said something. So, actually, Kemas, well, it's a big investment though. But if you're looking at the Air 2S, and if there's any way possible you can get the Mavic 3 Classic, I would do that. Why did you just drop out of focus on me? There we go. Yeah, if you can get the Mavic 3 Classic, I would go that route because it is a considerably better drone. It just is. It really is. Oh, it's the 8 auto exposure bracketing shots. I've done those. Let me pull up my Lightroom real quick because I've done a bunch of that, but I guess I'm always just so focused on editing them together and doing whatever I'm going to do with them that, holy crap, I have to go way back here. Oh wait, was that even the Mavic 3? That one. Oh no, that was the Mavic 3. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any. Looking at the individual photos on mine, these are some AEB shots, bracket shots. I don't see anything on mine. That's really interesting. Yeah, anyway. Nice, bud. Congrats. Everyday ATV, you're heading on an Alaskan cruise August, bringing the Mini 2 for any land excursions. Can't wait to see a beautiful part of the country you call home. Ah, awesome. So just be aware, we have tons of small aircraft that fly very low, so keep your ears peeled and don't run into any of them. Believe it or not, it's happened multiple times to friends of mine who are pilots that I know. Not a good thing. You don't want that out there for you. And then also be aware that a lot of places here are national parks. So you want to be careful and just know where you can fly and where you can't fly. So if you use AirMap, if you use Before You Fly, if you use, what's the other one? What's the other one I use? You would think I would know this stuff. Yeah, AirMap, Before You Fly, and Air Control, which is the other one. Anyway. if you use any of those, they'll tell you, but you do want to be careful about what is, national parks, what's legal and what's not. So, and then be careful on the cruise because they have very, very strict rules about what you can and what you can't do with drones on those cruise ships. But definitely bring it with you if you can because it's pretty awesome. Joe, the Air 2S is a better camera, 1-inch sensor, 8-inch sensor on the Mini 3 Pro, 0.8-inch sensor. Yeah, exactly. The Air 2S is definitely, especially for photo work, when I tested the two out, the Air 2S photos were significantly better because of its larger sensor. So I'd definitely go that way. How will remote ID work in remote locations where there's no cell phone signal? So Mark, it's totally based on GPS coordinates of the control unit and of the drone. So the drone transmits its coordinates, its direction, speed, height, all of that, which is encrypted supposedly. And then the controller, it's also supposed to transmit the controller, the base station location. That's why you have to connect the Avata controller to a phone, because the Avata controller doesn't have any way of knowing where it is based on, the controller has nothing in it to know where it is. So that's why the phone has to be part of it. So John AK, under 300. I missed a question there from you somewhere. Oh, that was right. The nature sounds. Honestly, John, either you could get a Zoom something or other, one of the Zoom pocket recorders with stereo mics, which is really good for under 300 easily. You could build the binaural mics that I built in my channel a while back for under 300 very easily, and those sound pretty good. And then you could get, because you want to do stereo, you want to do a stereo sound for sure. Actually, how much is the Sennheiser MKE 400? No. What is it? A 440? So $350, you could get the Sennheiser MKE 440, which is probably what I would recommend because it's a pretty good, just like plug and play thing. Why can't I? Oh, it's so irritating. Anyway, it's a good plug and play thing, and I would go that route. Sounds good. It's a good mic. You can use it for lots of things. Vishwash, keeping budget aside, the Sony 16-35 f2.8 or the Tamron 17-28. If budget is no option, then the 16-35 f2.8. But wait for the Generation 2 if you can, or get the Generation 2. Wait, did they come out with the Generation 2 on that? I don't think they have yet, but I would wait. I wouldn't buy the Sony one right now because I think they're like version 2 of that's going to come out this year. But yeah, that's where I would go. The Tamron 17-28 is significantly sharper than the G Master from Sony, which is hilarious. But yeah, that's what I do. For landscape and astro, yeah. I mean, either one of those would be great. It's just the Sony, you got a little wider. It is a little better that way. So, but the 2.8 for sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, either one would be fantastic. If you have the budget, get the Sony just because it works great with Sony cameras. You got no issues with, stabilization reading right or being able to shoot the highest frame rates depending on what camera you're shooting using. So, yeah. That's what I would do. Yeah, Trini, send it to me via email. Which my email is right? Yeah, I think that's my email. But send it to me via email. So Chris, yes, apps like Lychee work for the Mini 2, and it does enable a lot of that type of functionality, including some more tracking features that aren't enabled in the Mini 2 by default. So Lychee is a great app for the Mini 2 for sure. But yeah, and it does work for that. Dynadrone, if you have the Triple Tech tablet already, I would just use that. Otherwise, I really like the, where is it? It's over there. The DJI RC. It's not the Pro controller. It's just the one with the screen. I really like that. I use that a lot, and it's great. The only time I use the Pro controller with the Cine, especially when I have to send video out or do a few other things. But other than that, the DJI RC is a fantastic controller, and that's what I would recommend. But if you have the Triple Tech tablet already, then just use the RC1. Drone Dad, Pocket 2 is your main camera on a budget, looking to upgrade better camera for talking head type stuff, better focus, the ability to blur background recommendations. Drone Dad, depending on your budget, there's a lot of options out there. Let me know your budget real quick and I'll answer you. But otherwise, I would jump into right away, say the Sony ZV-1. But I wouldn't. I would wait because when is Sony coming out with that announcement? March 29th. They're going to announce a new camera on March 29th. So I would wait. I would wait till then and see what that new camera is. But yeah, honestly, the ZV-E10 would be great as well. That's an APS-C camera with interchangeable lenses. It'll blur out the background, and that's what I do. But wait until after March 29th because Sony's announcing some new camera that's targeted toward vlogging, content creation type stuff. So it would not be a good idea to do it now. Luminance noise in the Mini 2. Elon, unfortunately, we don't get a lot of options to be able to control that kind of stuff with the Mini 2. So, I mean, you just have to go in Lightroom or Photoshop and really, really tweak and edit a lot to fix that, unfortunately. Benny, I have zero experience with LiDAR focus with Blackmagic. Unfortunately, I am not on any of those lists to where they send those things out to me. I would like to be, but I'm not. And I have no need for it. So anytime I work with manual lenses, I either pull focus myself or I'm working with a crew and somebody else is pulling focus. So I haven't messed with it. Make Art Now has a lot of great videos on it. And so I'd start there, I think. Robert, hey. The Mavic 2 Pro, been generally happy with the exception of swollen battery issues that dropped your first drone from 300 feet. So is the Mavic 3 Classic a game changer? It'd definitely be a big upgrade for you, Robert. And it's kind of worth it now, honestly. Like the Mavic 3 Classic is the Mavic 3 period. Like I'm coming out with my long-term review on Friday, I think. And it is such a great drone. It really is fantastic. They fixed a lot of the issues that the Mavic 2 had. Yeah, I think you'd be pretty happy with the Classic. Hey, Dobra. Mark H. Any suggestions for photography and video in national parks with the recent October 22 ruling? Takes a long time to schedule. Tough when you go on the fly, depending on weather systems. Yeah, and unfortunately, Mark, the only thing we can do is contact our representatives, Congress and Senate, and ask them to push the national park to fix this stupid rule. I understand why it's in place, because if you have, crews of people coming in to film and stuff like that, it makes sense. They're going to have an impact, a big impact. But if it's one person walking through with a camera that's literally having no impact on the environment more than a visitor, then it should be different and it should be treated differently. And I'm fine with them going, hey, you're a photographer, you're a solo creator, you work by yourself, you want to film all that. Then here's, a yearly permit that you pay for. I pay for a yearly permit to park in the state parks here, and I'm happy to do that. It supports parks. It makes it faster for me to go in and get out. You know, so the national parks need to fix that. They need to think about it better. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do right now the way it is. It's stupid. Part 107 drones is you can't even take video with your cell phone in the national park. I know, and that's the stupid thing. Like, I mean, you can, but just as soon as you post it to any social media, then technically it's in violation of their rules. Are they going to come after you? Probably not. Are they going to come after somebody who's got a bigger following? You know, they might. So it's really stupid. You can go take photos. It's not treated the same. Photos are not treated the same. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do until it gets changed. So that's my advice, and what I'm doing is contacting my senators and my state representative, because we only have one in Alaska, and asking them to push the national park, to put pressure on the national park system to update their policy. That is still a pending case as well. I know it's been appealed, and so maybe we'll get somebody who will reverse that ruling down the road. I don't know. So it's really a bummer. 107, who said that? 107 Drones said you're screwed. Yes, it has, let's say this. I will say it goes into every time I go anywhere now and do anything, I avoid national park and national forest lands a lot now. And it's really unfortunate and really sad. So, yeah. All right. If I miss any questions, ask them again. Oh, 107 writers. Yeah, that for sure. Okay. Yeah. Paul. So, Paul, you can go and film video. You just can't post it anywhere, because as soon as you post it somewhere, then you're in violation of their policy, because you didn't go in with a filming permit and you've engaged in commercial filming of a national park. And the problem is, too, because of this unified, I can't remember what they call it, but they unified. It's like, you know, BLM lands, national forests, and national parks are all kind of like, we're just all having the same policies. And because it's simple, because then you know, like, oh, I got to get a permit for this, regardless if it's a national park, a national forest, or Bureau of Land Management. It's really stupid. It just is incredibly dumb. So, yeah. And the stupid thing is, too, like, I can go on a national park, and as long as this camera stays in photo mode, I can take as many photos as I want and post them. It doesn't matter. As soon as I switch this to video mode and start taking video and post that, it matters. That makes no sense. So whoever wrote that policy is either 100,000 years old, and they have no idea that phones now can do video on them just as good as cameras back in the day. And it just, you know, literally every person visiting a national park now has a video camera in their pocket. I'm really pretty pissed off about it. It is one of the dumbest policies, but, you know, it is where we are. So I don't know what else to say about it other than what I just got on my high horse and soapbox and shouted about it. And like I said, I have no issue with them saying it's $300 for a yearly permit, provided you don't have any more impact on the park than a single visitor would. No problem. I will do that easily. But it's the fact that they want you to apply for a permit, which is $300, and then you're going to pay $150 per day, and you've got to do all this weeks in advance, and then hope that the weather doesn't just screw you out of being able to do anything. It's really, really stupid. So, yeah, Jimmy J, I kind of agree with you. Okay, Trini, let me see if it came through yet. Let's see. Mountains are moving. Yeah, Deborah. I mean, fortunately up here we do have lots of other land that I have easy access to. It really ticks me off because it's just there's no reason for it at all. Oh wow. Okay, you have significantly worse vignetting. I have nothing like this. Not even close. None of my Mavics have ever had this issue. I would say that's a warranty issue, and I would contact DJI about it, Trini. That's significant vignetting. I've never had an issue like that. The only time I've had something like that is when I didn't properly attach a filter. It was like hanging off, only attached on one end. Joe, I heard Joe had a Mavic 3 Classic, Mavic 3 Mini, zoom lens worth the extra $700. Joe, I don't think the zoom lens is worth the extra $700 personally. I do use it fairly often, but that's me. I don't think most people are going to use it, frankly. So, but I do like it. I like it a lot. Robert, BLM has no policy for drones 2 years ago when you contacted them. No, that it hasn't changed, and neither has National Forest drone policy changed. What the issue is that they I wish I could remember what the policy is called, but basically they were like, why is this camera losing focus? Oh, it's irritating. Basically they were like, to simplify things and to make your issues with paperwork less strenuous, which any government agency that's really bent on making our issues less strenuous, less paperwork is. Anyway, then what they did was they kind of went with this unified permit policy. And so it's like, basically like across all of the things, we'll just unify our process. Like, if you're going to go film on national forest land, national park, you need a permit. Now, the process is different. Who you're going to talk to is different, all that. But it just, and apparently BLM is doing the same sort of thing. But I'll still go film on national forest land sometimes. I'll still go, well, it keeps focusing on the back. I'll still go film in BLM land, it just, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so they don't have a policy, like national parks have a policy on drones. No flying drones from a national park. You can fly over a national park, you just can't take off and land from one. So, yeah, anyway, it's unfortunate and it's dumb. Posting, same as posting photos at 30 to 60 photos a second, Drone Dad. I guess if there's no audio, then sure. But I don't know how that would hold up in court. I got a feeling a lawyer would be able to thread their way through that pretty quickly. Hey, Keith Brown. Fan of Sigma lenses? If so, what reason? Sharpness, build quality? I haven't used many Sigma lenses, Keith, so I can't say. They all look great. But yeah, I haven't used them. The most recent ones I haven't used. I used the 1.4 on an APS-C camera I had. It was fantastic. So they're really sharp. They're a little big and heavy for my taste, but they are very good lenses. Pennsylvania outdoors. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Can you fly on Kodiak, Donald Miller? Yes, there are lots of areas you can fly on Kodiak, yeah. I'm so sorry. Best affordable video editing software. iMovie on Mac is free. And then the only other one I really recommend is DaVinci Resolve. There's a free version. You're limited what you can do with it, but it's free. It's good. Otherwise, Hit Film Express is okay too, I guess. Yeah, that's what. My camera is possessed. I know, right? It feels like it is. I'm like, what in the heck? Jimmy J, you came in late. Oh, no one asked already, but are you, Jake Sloan, going to South Florida Drone Meet? Jimmy J? No, unfortunately, I am not. I'm going to NAB here next month, and I don't really have any out-of-state work booked right now. So all my work is local. So I'm not traveling at all at the moment. Paul. So that is the thing, Paul. Like, there is a lawsuit that's in progress. Again, I'm just going to... there is a lawsuit in progress. And we'll just restart the camera and see if that fixes it. Turn it off and back on again. It started by some YouTubers. The national park went after some YouTubers, and they went and pushed a lawsuit. And there was a court that told the national park, yeah, you can't do this. You're infringing on their right for free speech. How that, I don't know. Anyway, and then the National Park Service appealed that to a district court, I think, a federal appeals court maybe. I can't remember. And then it got overturned. So then it went back to the policy the national parks had before, and then that has been appealed and is working its way through. So either our elected officials need to get on their butts, off their butts, and put pressure on the national parks to make a policy that makes sense, or it's going to have to work its way through the court system. The current case that is working its way through the court system until we get a definitive answer. I don't know if they're going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. We had something like that happen up here with federal navigable waterways and somebody who was using them to get to and from property but was going through national park or national forest lands. I can't remember. Again, like, see, why? Why? It thinks the plant back there is an eyeball. That's what it's doing. I just don't understand why it's thinking the plant back there is an eyeball. Anyway, so, yeah, that's what's got to happen. Oh, I didn't know that, Alaska Filmer. That's too bad. I didn't know they got bought by Artlist either. Yeah. Mark H, am I going to be at NAB Sunday and Monday? Yes. Sunday, Monday, and part of Tuesday. And then I leave Tuesday to come back to Alaska. It's watching me. The plant back there is watching me. It is. Robert, as a Noah Fed. I was thinking about you the whole time. I'm like ragging on the National Park Service, Robert. And like, just like, and here Robert's in the chat going, oh my gosh. Anyway, so, and I'm seriously, like, I have met the main park rangers for the Gates of the Arctic National Park, and actually spent a lot of time with them. I know a lot of park rangers in Denali National Park, and all of them that I know personally that I've met are super amazing, really awesome people. They don't have any hand in setting policy, though. My Lord, what the heck is wrong with this camera today? Anyway, so it just, you know, it is what it is. So, Robert, yeah, I bet. Although you probably get to do some things that I can't do. I have a potential job out there later this year, like second half of this year, that might allow me to work with drones under some certificates of authorization for specialized operations, which I'm very much looking forward to. I can't say any more than that. But if it happens, I'll be super excited about it because it would, yeah, anyway. These 780 landscape, nightscapes, and star trails are your focus, trying to get all in one lens. The 16 to 35 range with an f2.8 or less, if you can get that's what I would recommend, Chris Clark. I'm not super familiar with Nikon lenses, but Nikon has great glass, so I would go with Nikon if you can. And then, yeah, that's what I would do. Jimmy J. Loading fish mode. Does Sony or Canon have better video quality? Department is looking to buy a new video camera. Loading fish mode. They both have great image quality. And it's more a matter of which one do you want. Canon still seems to limit their cameras from what they're capable of a little more than Sony does, but either one will work very, very well. Sony is a low light king. Their cameras, their off-the-shelf cameras like A7 IV, they all do phenomenally well in low light. So if that's an issue, then do that. But yeah, either one will do great. It's just, yeah. I left Canon years ago and went to Sony because Canon kept limiting their cameras massively on image quality, not image quality, but video capabilities, because they wanted you to buy their cinema cameras. And I was like, I'm not spending like 12 grand on a cinema camera when this, 5D Mark IV or whatever Mark III I had was fine. It just, anyway, so yeah. Prince FPV, you're applying for a waiver. What category did you say FPV fall into? Category 1, 2, 3, or 4? Are you applying for a waiver to fly over people? Princes? Because that's a hairy subject. Depending on if you have the really little drones, then you could probably get away with a category 1 if you have like a GoPro Bones and a 95 millimeter little FPV, baby FPV drone. But yeah. Donald Miller, what am I doing? A Mini 2 SE? I don't know, Donald. I probably should just go get one and do a review of it. I haven't done it yet. David, no, I wish. All those mammoth bones, man, I would love to find some mammoth bones. That'd be sweet. Dang, Alaska Filmer, that's a bummer. That's really unfortunate. Robert, I know. So I have a good friend he runs the drone program at UAF, which has been highly involved with writing a lot of the rules and policy with the FAA for beyond visual line of sight stuff and a lot of other stuff like that. They did the first flight with a drone in controlled airspace with air traffic like a normal. Holy crap, this is frustrating me to no end. And so they flew it from, I wonder if I just didn't get the lens seated properly all the way. Anyway, they flew it out of Fairbanks International with ATC doing all their normal stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty sweet. But he complained about stuff a lot too, and I totally get it. Like, it's, yeah. Wendy says the Nikon f1.8 20mm is great for Astro. Yeah, actually, Wendy, that would be a great lens for all of that stuff. Who was asking about that? Chris Clark, that would be a great lens. And if you could just do one like prime lens, I would go that route. That'd be great. Flying over people in vehicles, Princess. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to go for category 2, 3, or 4, you're going to have a lot more paperwork on your hands. So I would keep it smaller if you can. Is everybody in the vehicles, are they all part of the production? Or is this people that don't know that they're part of the production? Because that's a whole nother ball of wax too. David Casada. Exactly, man. That's why I switched to Sony. And it's unfortunate. Like Canon makes great cameras. The colors are great. The sensors are great. Focus is great. Apparently it's better than mine right now. And I didn't necessarily want to leave Canon, but I just could not, like, I couldn't get a single camera that did everything I wanted. And then Sony came out with the A7 III, and I was like, boom, that camera does everything I want. I'm done. And so I switched. I don't think the zoom camera is powerful enough for that on the Mavic 3, Elon. A lot of resources of fly drones, aerial footage. Can you recommend one? You're a beginner, by the way. Kimis, I mean, there's a lot of videos on my channel about it. There's a lot of videos on Jevon Dovey's channel about it. I would definitely start with those two and jump in there. I have a video labeled how to film with a drone for beginners, I think, and how to fly drones for beginners. And I would start with those if you've never done anything. Princess FPV drones chasing vehicles on a track. Oh, Oh, then you're going to need a powerful drone. So you're going to be in the higher categories, but that's a lot more paperwork, and I haven't really dove into that in very much depth or detail. But yeah, that's a lot more. Yeah. Jimmy J, I do not use Wirecast. I don't like any of those programs. And then after watching Ken struggle through his, I am very confirmed about why I don't like any of those programs. Have I taken panoramic shots in the Mavic 3? What's your favorite panel mode, Donald? So I've done lots of 360 photos. I've done lots of panos. I've done lots of it. My favorite is the wide. I like the wide. It's nice. Jimmy J, no meltdown pending. No. I only got 10 minutes left on the stream anyway, so my camera can keep going out of focus, and I'll just suffer through it. John AK, what microphone am I using right now? It's a DJI S-Mic 2S. I have two of them. They're great mics. They're just more expensive than I think they're $300 each. And you definitely want to do stereo, so you want two mics for sure. You know what? I know what the problem is. I bet my settings. Yeah, I bet that's the issue. Anyway. Pennsylvania Outdoors. Your documentary productions created along with Jevon are probably your favorites on YouTube. Will you two be teaming up again at some point this year to create more? I hope so. He and I talk pretty often about projects that we could work on together. And then it's just a matter of like my schedule, his schedule, everything working out. But yeah, I would love to go down and spend some time with him, like in Moab areas. That would be awesome. I'd love to do some astrophotography down there. And so yeah, we'll see. I hope so though. He's a really fun creator to collaborate with, and yeah, we've enjoyed doing stuff together. Period. So lots of fun. David, you were a Canon guy for years, shooting photojournalism. It's taking lots of convincing from you. Well, okay, so the thing is, though, now that Canon has the R6 Mark II and the R5, even though it's crippled by 30 minutes, the 30-minute limit, the last few mirrorless cameras from Canon, I think if I still was with Canon or still had Canon glass, I would be totally happy with those. I just sold it all and went to Sony. The other reason I like Sony and I recommend Sony is the third-party options for lenses. There's a lot, so people who are jumping into it can get a full-frame camera and then get several affordable full-frame lenses. So it's just, yeah, it's a lot. Donald Miller, liking the Apple Watch Ultra. I like it. I don't know if it's worth it, but it's nice. It is a nice watch, and I do like it. I don't use any of the tracking features or anything like that. I do like the blood oxygen sensor and the heartbeat monitoring and all that is nice. Just like to see what sort of good, terrible shape or good shape I'm in, I guess. And yeah, so far so good. Paul says, get the R3. Yeah, exactly. Get the R3. You won't have to worry about it. That camera is a beast, man. Holy crap. Oh, man. Thoughts on the new rumored Sony ZV camera? Brad Henderson. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Sony releases. It looks very promising. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what it looks like, and what sort of specs. The rumor are it's like APS-C or full frame, which would be pretty wild if it actually is. But yeah, I'm very, very curious to see what that thing looks like when it comes out. So I'm excited about it. I think it'll give some good options for people who, film and want to film themselves and vlog, but not spend a ton of money on stuff. Holy crap, how far back? Well, whatever. I'm not going to look for that now. Jimmy J, great lens wisdom for from the Sloan Ranger. Thanks for all you do, content reviews, and we get to see Alaska if you're curious through my channel. Thanks, Jimmy J. Part of the idea is like, yeah, I want you all to be able to see and experience Alaska, which is also what's frustrating about this whole national park thing. I have this really cool location that's in a old volcano that you can hike to. And I wanted to go like film a whole video or a few videos there. And yeah, now I'm not until something changes. I thought it'd be so cool. Get to take you guys to this volcano and walk through it. Be really cool. Maybe someday. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I might try the permit process and just see, but I'll have to find somebody to sponsor the video for that much money, because that's, you know, $450, $500, $600 pretty quick. So 107 drones. You may have heard that. I don't know that I said it, but also I'm pretty sure it has to be provable in court, and I'm almost certain they know how to look at metadata. And yeah. Anyway, I mean, the reality is, like, if you don't have a big following, you could probably get away with it and be fine. I could probably get away with it and be fine. You know, it just, yeah. Non-exploding volcanoes are the best. Exactly. I agree. I don't want to walk through a live volcano. Although I did want to go to that one in Iceland last year. That would have been fun. So, anyway, doesn't matter. I still have lots of cool places to take you guys and show you, and some pretty cool stuff to do. So, yeah, you'll still get to see some pretty awesome spots. And then, what do I mean by sponsor One Vision? I mean, like, I would have to have a company give me some financial backing. Because, so you think about it, it's $300 to apply for the permit, $150 per day that you want to film there. And so you'd probably want to set out like maybe let's say 2 days, 3 days, just in case weather, whatever. Pretty sure this spot you could hike in and out of in one day. It would still be a lot of work. Sponsored by NordVPN. Yeah, right, Paul. So, you know, but then it's not only that, it's at least $200 in fuel to get there, to drive there, because it's a few $100, more than a few 100 miles away. So, you know, pretty quick, you're talking like, so we're at, you know, say $450, $600 for permits, and then another $250 in gas. So now we're at $850 for a YouTube video. Like, if I was making, you know, $1,000 every video, like, you know, a considerably smaller scale Mr. Beast, like where he knows he's going to make $2 million a video, it'd be one thing to go, I want to make this money back, or that and more. So no problem. I am not on that level. Not yet. Anyway, you know, maybe someday, but not yet. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks, Paul. Thanks for hanging out here, man. I appreciate it. I get 4 minutes more, and then I'm going to call it a night. So, but yeah, Friday comes the Mavic 3 long-term review video, which I think you all will enjoy, because you'll get to see some... Well, other creators sent me some collaborations for me to work with them, which is cool. So, yeah. Courts know nothing about metadata. If you accidentally leave your laptop alone, open in Starbucks, anyone could have possibly posted it. Even. Oh, you guys. Robert, looking forward to chatting with one day. Likewise, man. If you ever come up this way, let me know, because I would definitely like to meet up and get some coffee or something. And if I ever make it down your way for work or otherwise, I'll try and hit you up, because I would love to meet up. It'd be really fun. yeah. So, yeah, I've got a few more minutes on the chat. So if you have a question, now is a good time to ask it. And then I'm going to wrap the chat up here in just a little bit. The chopper footage was great of the dog sledding video. Pretty cute helicopter pilot. The helicopter pilot was a guy. Mark. There was a nice lady in the front, and she was one of the ones that I was filming in the dog sledding. She was, I think they're from Florida. And yeah, they had a blast. And yes. Dynadrone, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, the lady in front. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was guessing, Mark. But anyway. David, you're all the way up in Alaska. You've heard of Mr. Beast. Perhaps he's heard of you. I doubt it, but it'd be funny if he had. I have been contacted a few times by some good-sized YouTubers like Jevin Dovey's a good-sized YouTuber. I think he's getting close to 1 million. But beyond him to like film stuff for them. And, it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, I'd love to. This is what it would take for me to film with you, for the amount of time you were asking me for. And then they were like, oh, well. And I'm like, I can't do it for free. Like, I can't do that. So, anyway. Merrick. Of course I remember you, man. He's good. He's, 16, almost 17. How are you doing? You still in New York? So, but yeah, long time no see. Hope you guys are doing well. Say hi to the whole family for me. Any tricks to Kodiak, Brad? Maybe. I can't say any more than that, but I really hope so. I would really like to come to Kodiak. So, we'll see. Oh, you're in Oklahoma? Dude, seriously? I was in Oklahoma a bunch last year. I'm not going to ask you where in Oklahoma, but is the whole family there or just you? I'm kind of curious. Merrick used to be my neighbor up here many, many, many years ago. Like 5, 6 years ago? It's been a while. It's right before COVID. I know that. Oh, cool. Nice. Joe, wait, I want to get paid. I have 3 kids who need to eat and quickly outgrow their shoes and clothes right now. And so again with the thing, I've got to feed them somehow. Legally, I guess I have to feed them, right? I'm pretty sure there's a rule there somewhere that says I have to feed them and take care of them as their parents. So anyway, that's awesome, Merrick. Oklahoma. Nice. I hope you guys are happy there. Kodiak, wasn't that a film company in Rochester, New York? It might have been. We have a whole island up here named Kodiak. Big, big, big bears that live there. Not quite as big as polar bears, but very, very large. And I would like to go there because it's really pretty, too. Only Alaska adventure for you so far. You were in Barrow searching for the lost whaling fleet of 1871. Oh, dude. That's awesome. If you ever come back up this way, let me know. I have yet to get to Barrow. Or Ukjavik now, but I want to at some point. I was going to try and go last fall, but weather did not cooperate. So, yeah. Agreed, Donald Miller. That would be amazing. 10 Toes, all proceeds go to feed hungry children. Yeah, it kind of does. I think. I set a little bit aside so that I can buy camera gear to work with and review, or drones or whatever, and then the rest goes right out the door, in the sense of many runs to Costco and other grocery stores and clothing stores. Yeah, who knew? Well, I also heat the house, so I keep the house warm. And then give them plenty of hot water to take really long hot showers. I have become such a dad. Every time I say, they're like, turn your lights off. Stop taking such long hot showers. I'm like, oh man, I sound just like my dad. And Oh yeah, it's great. Anyway, all right. Wait until college. Will some drones? Please, please. I'm trying to get through teenage years right now, one step at a time, man. Don't just one step at a time, Barkley. Just let me do one step at a time. Anyway, ever go to Dutch Harbor? No, Mark, but I do want to. And in fact, what I might have coming up down the road would take me to Dutch Harbor, which would be awesome. Don Miller, I could easily get sponsored by DJI. You would think, but no. So far, they did talk to me with the action camera, and so maybe something will come up down the road. I don't know. They're kind of odd that way. So we'll see. But then again, also, it's a national park where I would go to film that one, so I can't fly drones there anyway. I mean, I could maybe get a special permit, but that permit, that's a whole nother ball of wax. Is getting permission to fly a drone in a national park it's a lot of moving parts that you have to get through. So, will do, Merrick. Nice to see you too. Tell the family I say hi. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for being part of the channel, for being members. If you want to see, me out filming dog mushing, and other behind the scenes stuff and special videos, you can join as a member on the channel and you get to see those things. Also, it buys me coffee for trips and drives and all that, which I appreciate. Other than that, thank you all for being here tonight. I'll be here same time, same place next week. And until then, got a long-term review of the Mavic 3 coming, and another tip video about Active Track, because apparently a lot of people really liked that last one, so I'm going to do another one of those. And in the meantime, be safe, be smart. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Cheers, everybody.